Right.
And we're live.
We are live.
Hey guys.
Live and ready to survive.
We are happy to
My
be
balls?
hanging here with you today. Let us know if you can hear us and see us okay. I saw there's a couple people in the chat, so maybe we'll get a couple more people wanting to hang too. Can we move the screen over just a little bit?
We talking about this thing.
Yeah, so I could see the comments.
Yeah, boss. There you go.
Thank you, Puddin'. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody in there, says Larry? Can you hear us and see us okay, Larry? Hi.
Oh, I knocked everything over. What's falling behind me? Is that skull?
No, it was Frankenstein.
Oh.
You've got a Frankenstein thing right behind you.
Okay. Well, let's go chill, you know what I'm saying?
Wooly booly.
Wooly booly.
I think he's commenting on your hair there.
Wooly booly.
You got a new hairdo.
That's the only kind of thing I can do with mine. I don't have any hair.
Well, we heard the salons are opening back up soon, and
I really need
he
a
went
cut.
and got his hair did.
I need to go get it did.
Just kidding,
It's not looking so dope. Not looking so fresh.
Hi, John. Parmesan is in the house here.
I love his chicken. You ever have Parmesan chicken?
Parmesan chicken.
It's delicious. Or the cheese too he makes. Parmesan cheese.
I see Lois and Paul. Paul says, hi all. There is step 2, that's Tony.
Step by step.
Ray says, nice hat.
Oh, you cut out the first part of it, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want to say that out loud.
Well, you know.
I'm nodding because I can hear you. Okay, well that's good you're nodding. We have our coffees, we're wearing our comfy clothes.
We're drinking something different tonight. Oh, you have a monkey mug and so do I.
We both have monkey mugs.
Well, you need a mummy mug. See, you're not thinking the...
Well, I technically do have a mummy mug, but I think it's in the dishwasher.
Well, that doesn't do
You're not really supposed to dishwash them, but I do.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Hazelnut coffee.
Yummy. All the finest that Aldi could buy.
I guess I could have. Did you hear that clink? I think I clinked my tooth on that.
Oh.
It felt great.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I didn't chip it or nothing, so. But I'm old, so.
I'm partial to eggplant parmesan.
Eggplant parmesan is delicious.
Here we go. So this is part of our Monster Hustle playlist here on our YouTube channel, and it is our midweek update. And I'm Janet.
And I'm James.
Yes.
And together we host
the Mummy and the Monkey.
Well, Hairy Scary Hangout.
The Hairy Scary Hangout is Janet and Grimm.
Yeah, when we're not doing our eBay sales. Who is crying out there? Is that Jack?
I think Jack is crying. I'm gonna go check on him.
Lordy, lordy.
You talk to the people.
Anyway, so we resale by day and horror host by night. Actually, well, Friday nights, 10 p.m. we stream live on our Facebook page. I hope I can say Facebook on YouTube. Well, too bad I said it. But anyway, yeah, we stream a 2-hour program called The Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangout, where we have different personas. She's Janet Decay, the Mummy, and I'm Grimm Gorri, the Monkey, hence the title Mummy and the Monkey. And what we do is we host we're horror hosts that host bad B movies, do skits and bits, kind of like Elvira, if y'all remember that. That was a syndicated show. Whoop. Back in the 80s and 90s, even into the 2000s. And then, or depending on where you grew up, a lot of places had horror hosts that started probably in the 60s and 70s.
And not everyone's familiar with the term horror host. Like a late night movie host.
Yeah.
Some people don't know that there's an official term for that.
Yeah, that's what they're dubbed, movie hosts, horror hosts.
So
a lot of people know Joe Bob Briggs. You know, he was pretty popular, but he's more considered a movie host than a horror host. But anyway, so if you look up the term horror host, you'll find, and if you look up horror hosts on YouTube, a gaggle of them, there's a ton of them. From all around the country, and from all different time periods.
All over the world, too. I mean, there are some international horror films. There's some in Australia, there's some in South America that I know of, and some in Canada that we befriended.
But we've been streaming our we might be one of the first actual live streaming horror hosted shows, that we know of. I mean, there are some people that host a party air.
Well, let's we weren't the first to stream on the internet.
No,
so
of course
there's
not.
a little bit of a difference between streaming.
I did not.
Yeah, you said live streaming. So there's a difference between streaming just an episode of yours on the internet and just letting it play, and then actually being live in front of a webcam hosting the show. Not scripted, not already edited.
But even if it was scripted, the difference is that it's streaming live at some point.
The difference is that you're doing a live performance that is streaming on the internet, as opposed to playing an episode you put together.
Yeah, a prepackaged episode.
Like an already edited
which is
episode.
what we
and there's
did.
nothing wrong with that.
No, which is what we did initially.
Yeah.
The first iteration of the Mummy and the Monkey was just called the Mummy and the Monkey, and not the Hairy Scary Hangout. But we, created our own episodes. We do everything from soup to nuts on the show. We design all the prop sets. It might look like it too.
I'm sure it does.
All of the we do all the filming ourselves, the editing, things like that, promoting everything. We do it all. Mm-hmm. It's a one Mummy, one Monkey show.
Pretty much.
Well, we did that for about 2 years. We put together shows, and we would get a show out every other month or so. I mean, we weren't really productive with that.
Well, and sometimes, because we were both working full time.
It was a time suck, but it was something that we wanted to do, and it just took a lot of time.
Yeah, it was very time consuming. We were new to trying to edit things and kind of new to this whole thing.
But we've been unemployed for the last several years, and it's just been easier just to do a show for free.
Did you say unemployed or fun employed?
We're fun employed now.
We're fun employed now. We're grateful that we can work from home.
But we were doing that.
Grateful that we're doing what we do.
Doing the show, that way, and putting them on a DVD, and then sending the DVDs to different, cable access stations. And we had friends that would, get us on in their city or whatever.
Yeah. So some and you don't see it too much anymore. And most people got rid of their cable and just do Netflix or whatever.
Right.
But back when cable was more prominent, they had public access stations, like a community station for schools to put up video, educational. Yeah. And then if someone had a horror film hosted show or something like that, then they could send in their tapes to cable TV for their town.
That was an interesting time. What it was actually the cable access channel, because it's all regulated by the FCC. So just to make things fair, when a cable was a big setup, so that each cable station network had to have an hour, not an hour, a channel, a cable access channel available to the public, like a library,
Yeah.
And if you came up with some sort of program, it could be a talk show, it could be a show on anything. You name it, people did shows on it. Met your tape and it got approved. It had to,
So in Brunswick, Ohio, we were on BAT TV. There was WCTV in Worcester, Ohio. BAT had Time Warner cable, and when we were part of the Daughter of the Ghoul show, they would send. The producer would send things into Time, and it was channel 21 or something.
And we dug
through that cable network.
And we liked doing that. It was a lot of fun, but we wanted to challenge ourselves, and we were trying to really figure out how to ramp things up. How could we put together shows that won't take us as long? And we thought, well, hey, it looks like streaming is getting better.
Yeah.
Everyone's just watching stuff streamed live or recorded. Even if it's pre-recorded, the streaming technology got better that you don't get a lot of lags and a lot of, choppiness.
Yeah, the live streaming and the internet is less choppy these days. It's more smooth for the most part. Yeah. And when we were sending things into cable TV in 2015, 2016, we weren't really sure who was watching us. Every now and then we would get a couple emails with compliments or complaints, but that was really all we would, there wasn't a lot of feedback.
Right.
But when we started we had, it was actually the Late Late Horror Show, Dino. He recommended that we start doing live streams.
Yeah, so why don't you guys do
on YouTube or Facebook or something?
That's true. And then we're like, well, we thought about it, and but we just didn't know how to do it. And thought it was hard to, figure out all the technology.
Yeah, and it took a little bit for us to kind of figure things out.
We were up and running very quickly.
Right.
The first couple of shows we did, though, of Hairy Scary Hangout, it'd be funny to revisit those somehow.
They're on
YouTube, right?
There's maybe one or two on YouTube. We first started doing the live streams on YouTube.
Yeah.
But with YouTube, with the public domain movies, other YouTubers claim to own stuff, even though it's an old movie that everyone knows doesn't have a copyright.
Or there could be music or something in the movie that isn't that has different set of rights to it. So sometimes that
YouTubers would claim that they owned music from it. Sometimes it was valid, and we made a mistake here and there, and we kind of learned from it and moved on. Sometimes it wasn't. We weren't sure because it was a YouTuber from who knows where, and it was it's do you really own 30 seconds of this instrumental song from a movie from like 70 years ago that no one else seems to care about.
Yeah.
It was like, weird little things like that where it's like, really?
And I think that we wanted to too. I mean, the first version of the show, the first sort of iteration of it, we weren't going to do movies, were we? We're going to just show like little bits that we found or little like cartoons and stuff. It's a public domain cartoon, something like that.
At first we thought of just showing shorts
Yeah.
for YouTube. But yeah, we decided, okay, let's try Facebook. It seems to be easier.
And I know this is Monster Hustle. We usually talk about our eBay stuff, but yeah, we struggle with that. I mean, still to this day, I'm like, do we need to show horror? These B movies. I mean, or actually public domain movies, because that's what we're limited to. We can't show. I mean, there's a lot of B movies that we can't show. There's
some indie filmmakers that in the past have given us permission to play their movies, and that's awesome. And then we are friends with Something Weird Video, so sometimes we get permission to play some of their movies that they own the rights to, but we always have to ask first.
Yeah, that's fine, but we struggle with that though. Is a horror host if they're not, hosting a movie? I don't know. After they're established.
Well, there's some characters on YouTube that do movie reviews. They could technically be considered a horror host, I think, or something like that, because they're talking about a movie. Maybe they're reviewing something that's horror movie related.
Yeah.
There's lots of vloggers, podcast people. They could be considered like a host, just in a different way.
Well, I'm wearing this little Bob here because some people kept saying, "What happened to the Poobah hat?"
Everyone's commenting on your hat here.
No, maybe the hat should have its own show.
Ray says, "I love the live stream. It's a blast doing comments with a group of fans." Oh, thank you, Ray.
And that's something we didn't even think about when we first started doing live stream.
John says, "Yes, the comments make the show so much more fun." Thank you, John.
So you're basically okay. Let's just say we can end that here with if you want to. But we with all that's going on, I mean, we were kind of without even thinking about a little ahead of the pack here, doing this type of show because it's kind of social distancing.
Yeah.
We
did it we could sound all hipstery and be like, we did it before it was cool.
Yeah, but but the whole idea with that, you'd be able to hang out in the same room with because a lot of people have become friends, in the chat.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting, and they all have their inside jokes. Some of them I don't understand. Like, I don't have time to read everything.
It's a great way, everyone connects because it's the fandom,
the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has nothing to do with us, really. That's fine.
Yeah, some of you guys just ignore amongst yourselves,
which is fine. Please,
it's great. It's funny.
That's what this is all about. Is to just kind of create this scene, But we do this show. This is on YouTube now. We found some what? Talk about what? I said we found some use for YouTube in that we can talk about what we do in the day when we're not monsters at night. When we do our eBay selling, we do it as considered reselling.
With the YouTube channel, we have 2 separate playlists.
Yes.
Actually 3. We have the Mummy and the Monkey skits and bits.
Yep.
That's for our comedy shorts, the little comedy skits. We have the Mummy and the Monkey when we go live as the Mummy and the Monkey and just talk about whatever. Usually for the Hairy Scary Hangover, the after party show, late on Friday nights.
I guess we do technically a Mummy and Monkey show on YouTube.
Yeah, we technically do.
So right after the Hairy Scary Hangout on Facebook, we switch over to YouTube and do an hour or so thing called the Mummy and the Monkey's Hairy Scary Hangover. Talk to the fans or come up with Janet usually comes up with a topic.
The new title for the show is it the Mummy and the Monkey and the Hat's Hairy Scary Hangover?
And the hat.
The hat. The hat is his own character.
The hat.
Everyone loves your hat.
I bought this thing. I think it's actually a kid's size, but it fits me pretty good. But it was like at a Marshall's, I think, or TJ Maxx, one of those. I said it was the only one in there. Fun. I don't know what I'll do with it. I bought this years ago.
This is the introvert's favorite horror hosting show, says Paul.
Oh.
Ah, that's funny.
That's right, or at least, incels or whatever I call them.
And Area Thrifty 1 says, "How's it going? Good to see you live." Doing good, Area Thrifty 1.
Best name ever came up with.
That's an awesome name.
That's such a clever name
Very
for a
clever.
business. Yeah, for a resale business. But yeah, but we do all to make our bread and butter and buy these cool hats. We do reselling. Is where we and that's when you go pretty much either source from your own house or go thrifting or.
Yeah, so I've been a full-time reseller for 3 years now.
Buy junk and sell it.
I was a collector for a long time and would buy a bunch of stuff and then sell some stuff here and there online, and then it was like extra money to go buy more crap I didn't need. So, worked in retail for a long time. I was a manager for a couple different places, worked in the automotive industry for a couple years.
But you like reselling, right?
Reselling's my favorite. Yeah, reselling's awesome.
Yeah, so, but it's been a challenge lately because we can't openly source like we used to, like at, flea markets coming up. I mean, some of those aren't open around here. Thrift stores, they're just starting to open again.
Yeah, some thrift stores are opening up again, but we're going to be careful and wait before we go out again. Plus, we don't really need to go thrift store shopping right now. Mm-hmm. We were working outside today, garage. I was going through stuff in the basement. Like, we have lots of stuff we still need to go through. And then we did buy some stuff last weekend, and in our update, we were showing some of the haul from that. And you were listing some of it the other night.
Yes, finally got to it.
Yeah.
They'll list some more tonight.
John says, I saw that Fred Olin Ray pick. What's the story on that?
Go ahead and say.
And I was going to bring this up a little bit later, but Parma John beat me to it. So
sorry, this hat's itching my...
A friend of mine tagged me in that post. Fred Olin Ray shared that, saying that he found that on the internet, and he said it was photoshopped, and he didn't know who the girl was in the photo. It was not photoshopped. It was actually taken on a real, like an old-timey film camera, so that was with real film. And the photographer, and I don't remember his name right now, but he used to go to Cinema Wasteland and take pictures, and he would send pictures to the Cinema Wasteland people. I guess he liked to just take lots of different photos of the guests and stuff like that. Well, he was wanting, because he knew that I did modeling, and at the time I was just starting with my mummy character. This was, if I had to guess the year, it was probably around 2013. So 7 years ago.
Wow.
I was at Cinema Wasteland dressed as Janet Decay, and the photographer asked me if I wanted to do a photo shoot with Fred Olin Ray after the convention ended. And I said, yeah, that'd be awesome. And he's, for the indie film people and the horror movie people, he was involved with, like, what were the movies? Like, real cheesy, like Bikini Chainsaw Massacre. What were the other ones? Something Slimeball Bolorama, like these really cheesy 80s horror films. Fred Olin Ray was involved in a lot of that.
Wow.
So I'd have to look up more titles, but I've seen some of them, and I know who he was, and he's a nice guy. And it was a fun photo shoot. And I was just supposed to be like creepy looking and then looking over his shoulder.
Like you said, he thought it was Photoshop, but it wasn't. He totally forgot.
It was not Photoshop. I just think he forgot.
Well, I'm getting a little overheated. Ooh.
Yeah, that was not Photoshopped. I was there in a photo shoot with Fred. And
I really were.
All this time went by, and I always wondered, because I haven't seen the photographer or heard from him, and I never saw the photos, and I always wondered, well, what happened? I wonder how the pictures turned out.
Well, now you know.
And now I know. Isn't that crazy?
Damn right.
That was my fun little story of a celebrity photo shoot.
Here's my Fred Olin Ray story. What's his name?
Fred Olin Ray.
Yeah, I never met him. That's my story.
You weren't at that Wasteland?
I seen the picture you showed me. That's all I know.
I think that was before we met. Or maybe
Do you remember when we met?
Before we were friends.
That day I knew you were my pet. I want to tell you just how much I love you.
What song's that from?
Sea of Love.
Oh. Okay, what are the comments?
But I'm not going to sing it. I don't want to make everybody cry.
Guys, how do you guys make money on YouTube or Facebook?
Well,
that's a good question, Louie.
Who says we made money?
We don't make money on YouTube and Facebook. Not yet. We're trying to build up our YouTube and Facebook, so possibly they can be monetized later on.
And that would be up to you out there, the viewing audience, to make sure that you watch and like our program.
The more you guys watch, the more you guys like or dislike or comment, that shows up as more activity on the pages.
That's right. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share below.
And click the little bell for notifications.
That's right.
But we also, so I self-film. He puts together these awesome T-shirts and tank tops. And
remember Daughter of the Ghoul? Remember that?
Yeah, that one's discontinued.
This is what I did this to try to impress you. Whenever I first when you first walked into the show,
Aww.
Came on and I was like, oh, I know what I need to do to get in them britches. Just kidding. I said, I know what I need to do. That's how romantic is that?
Oh, geez.
I just used my powers. And now I got these little...
Hi, Late Late Horror Show.
And it worked. Look,
yeah.
there she is.
Here I am.
Hey, you know.
So we also have a Teespring store that James did some awesome graphic designs for. Like, this is the tank top. This is a lady's size medium tank top.
Look how cool, man.
And it's the Mummy and the Monkey Hairy Scary Hangout tank top.
Woo-hoo. And you get that printed on lots of different garments.
Woo!
Whoa.
So there it is.
But I, did some design stuff around. There's some illustration stuff on there too. But
yeah,
I'm working on a Stasha one and some other goodies that we'll be in touch with.
So when people support our channel, it does support our Facebook and what we do. And then when we sell stuff on eBay, that helps. And then
it does. Wow.
You're also an awesome graphic designer.
Yeah.
So you pick up gigs doing that.
Yeah, I work for some toy companies and stuff. This is like pretty wild because I got laid off from. I used to work at American Greetings greeting card company. Most people know Hallmark, but that's what it's the same. It's a Cleveland version of that. They're pretty much the second biggest greeting card company in the world. But I worked for them on and off over the years, and then it was off a few years ago, and they let a lot of people go because of restructuring, whatever.
Yeah, you were on the chopping block.
That's okay. It wasn't anything I did personally. It was just like
they let go 400. They let go of 400 people.
Yeah, they chopped a lot of heads
2 years ago.
But now, with what's going on, it sounds like a lot of people have been furloughed. So. I don't know. It might not. Even if I didn't get cut, I'd probably be home now anyway. They only kept certain people there.
Yeah.
They're not even there. I think the people that didn't get furloughed are working from home.
A lot of people working from home.
Yeah. So I would have been probably furloughed. I'm sure I would.
Did you make the sayings on the cards? Says Louie.
No, I didn't write. Everyone asked me that. I did. I've done a lot of different things. That's the one thing I never did. I may have written a few cards. I don't remember offhand. I can count the. Probably not.
If he did, he'd probably just write a lot of fart jokes on the cards.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if that would go over very well.
Well, you team up with writers. There are some artists, very few, that had their own line of cards and things, both at Hallmark. Because I worked for Hallmark, too, back in the day. But there are a few people, very few and far between, that actually be art and writer. But greeting cards, usually, you have a writer, you have a team of writers, and a team of artists. And the writers would write the verse. And they give the verse to the artist, and the artist would interpret the verse.
So they had a
visually.
Writing department.
Yeah, it was all, But,
different people that would
work on. But the way things are, they've been doing things But I remember when I would work at either of those places, you would, a lot of the artists now are doing lettering, and you would never do that. It was what are you, an artist? Yeah, I'm a graphic designer, artist, illustrator. And you want to letter that? Yeah, no, that's my job. It was always.
So they would have a lettering department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they still kind of do, but now it's more. It's very common for a lot of the graphic designers to take on the lettering, and they were talking about manipulating digital type as opposed to a lot of handwriting that they used to have done. Totally, either one is an art form that it has to do with spacing and and all this kind of stuff. It's not that easy. You can slap type on a card, but it's not as good as a pro does it.
Another John. Loved the article that you put out on Facebook this week. Thank you. Yes. So idolfeatures.com. His name is Chris that writes these articles. He interviews independent film actors, actresses, and I think he does Amazon reviews for movies and IMDb.
So that's Idol, like I-D-O-L.
I-D-O-L.
Not I-D-L-E.
Idol Features.
Right, Idol. Yeah.
Idol, yes.
That's
and he sent me some interview questions, and it took me a couple of weeks to get back to him. I felt bad about that. Typing. I do. So yeah, it just took a while to think about okay, how am I gonna type this? How should I answer that? But the other day I just sat for a couple hours and just did it. So that was really nice that he wanted to interview me. So thank you, Idol Features. So that's a nice online article.
Does this look?
What are you doing? What did you put under your shirt?
You want to feel it?
What is that?
It's my balls. Oh.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just playing while you're talking. Sorry. Some of us don't get features written about. I'm sorry.
Well, you're awesome already.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
You got that awesome hat. I mean.
It's all about the hat, isn't it? It's about the hat. See, coffee does it to me too. It doesn't matter if it's booze or coffee. I get all wacky.
Now we're all wacky with the energy here. But, so eBay stuff.
The show's about that,
We were going to talk about eBay.
Now, let's get something straight here, too. We're on the set of our show, our Mummy and the Monkey Hairy Scary Hangover.
Yes.
Hangout.
We are working on an eBay background.
Oh, I got a blongy don. It's eBay related. What's it say? Oh, you hear that? Cha-ching.
What'd you sell?
Tell me. I can't read.
Scumbug double oil absorbing sponges for pools.
Ah, it's about that time.
Oh, people are going to be
What'd they go for?
It went for $19.99.
Awesome. Yeah, these were... okay, so, yeah, you just heard. I'm trying to get this thing going so I can...
It looks like you had a couple sales go through.
Let's so the cha-chings come through.
Mine doesn't cha-chingy anymore.
That's the best part. It's like being in Vegas or being at a...
Mine doesn't do a cha-chingy.
A casino. I think that's why they do it. It should. You got to get the cha-ching working.
I think I need to get a new phone this year.
Because that's the best thing. You're sitting there, you're sitting there doing something else, picking your nose, watching TV, maybe listing some stuff or doing something else. And you hear a cha-ching. Oh, it's the best. We're going to have beans and hot dogs this week. Woohoo! But yeah, I think I just sold 3 things. I had a goose egg yesterday. I don't think I sold anything yesterday.
Some days you have that. Some days you sell nothing. Some days you sell like
lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff. It's wild.
I can't see, but I know what these things are. I say I can't read. If I say I can't read, it's because I wear prescription glasses.
You don't have your other glasses.
I don't have my reader glasses. I'm nothing to see. My eyes are horrible. They're shot. They're shot to poop.
You can't see so good.
I can't see so good.
Aww.
But just to get.
Well, it's okay. I can read it for you.
But here I got 4 cells here. They just sold some sponges. They're called Scumbugs, and it's almost like a magic eraser. For a pool.
It's like a scrubby sponge for a pool to clean your swimming pool.
It's shaped like a beetle. Now, we got these at the at Southland Liquidations.
Oh, yeah, the Southamptons.
Yeah, got those there. I mean, I might have paid 12 cents. I could have paid almost up to $2 for these. Don't remember when I got them. But I probably got them when everything was 12 for $1.
Probably.
So, made a great, money on those. I sold a pair of old vintage Pizza Hut buttons.
Oh, Pizza Hut.
It's just Pizza Hut on them, I think. And then a tabletop pinball game. Yeah, it's not, it's nothing
just like fancy. A little game.
Yeah, and then this is another Southland thing. It's some replacement blades for a little handheld manual saw or something like that. Those went for $30.
Wow.
For like a 4-pack.
Well, that's cool.
I paid maybe a quarter for each.
I did sell some things today.
But that cha-ching when it comes through is great.
But I'm really excited because I've been doing sourcing on other apps, and I did purchase a lot of vintage Barbie doll stuff for I won't go into.
Well, let's put it this way. Now, okay. So before, before the the COVID hit.
Before all this
the bug hit.
Before all this crap, we would go out and thrift pretty much like every other day. We would go to the flea markets. We would go to estate sales. We would contact other people that were resellers to see other people.
Oh, I said
other people that were resellers.
Yeah.
And
but
yeah, I mean, we were always out and about looking for stuff, but now we're limiting how many times we go out. Well, we're trying to be careful.
This has made reselling a lot more challenging for when it comes to the sourcing department.
Yeah.
I've seen all kinds of stuff, and we watch other resellers on YouTube and what they're up to. And it's really, some people have enough stuff. Like, we have a lot of stuff in this house. I mean, trust me, there are veins that have not been tapped yet.
A lot of crap here.
I ain't even kidding.
I mean, crap.
There is a lot of stuff that could be, whether it's a seller or not, I don't know. But we do have a lot of stuff that was,
a lot of stuff that's still sellable.
Shoved into a corner.
But some stuff we're going to donate or throw away.
Yeah. So we have that to tap into. It's not like we have this, we definitely don't have some Spartan house where there's just a couple things here, a few boxes in the basement. No. There's stuff shoved everywhere.
Clutter bugs.
Yeah, but it's a good thing now. You don't have to go out as much. We can actually source the house.
So we're still shopping the house.
Yes.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, there's still a lot of stuff here to go through, but I am still looking online at some other apps and through social media to see what people are parting with, what they're selling, and if it's and if I think it's something good that I could go through and research to resell. That's awesome.
Right, and that's what I'm trying to explain.
Then I'll buy it.
So what I'm trying to do now is explain the workarounds a lot of resellers are trying to figure out. Some people, we've had a couple of really cool meetups with other resellers.
Mm-hmm. We talked a little about that.
Yeah, we're just going over it again because a lot of people don't watch it consistently. So there's
sure.
So we were fortunate enough. I'm building up to something.
Okay.
On top of all that.
All right, I'll let you do your splaining.
Just let me vamp for a second.
Okay.
So yeah, so we've been lucky to meet up with some people under safe circumstances, and we're wearing the mask and the gloves and everything, keeping distances.
Mm-hmm.
We were able to, and then we pick stuff, and then we would let it sit in the garage or in the corner somewhere for a few days, and then try to Lysol it off or whatever.
Yeah.
All the precautions, as if everything is without being too crazy about stuff. But recently, just the other day, there was a picker, Cincinnati picker, did something really interesting and there's another Tucker Upper,
yeah, so there's
other resellers on YouTube.
Some YouTube resellers that I guess were selling bundles.
Yes, let me explain Cincinnati, and then you can do no. I'm saying, so there's two. It's interesting what people are doing, and even they say, look, this is work around what's going on. Mm-hmm. So one of the strategy that I thought was pretty interesting was the Cincinnati picker. He bought 3 storage units, right? I mean, and these storage units were huge. They're like 10 by 30, I think, or something.
A lot of stuff, and I guess it was mostly antiques.
Someone had an antique booth or something at one point.
It looked really cool from what we saw in the video.
Because stuff had prices on it. Stuff was just waiting to get to and waiting. I was paid up for it. I paid a good amount of money for this thing. But his idea is, what I'm going to do is I can't list all this stuff, look up, research it all. I'm just going to go through a few things and lot some stuff up. The stuff I kind of know what it is, look up a few things.
Selling like bundles. So like he would sell like a big box of random watches, like $60. Yeah, and some of it could be good.
Right, and he knew that these people are resellers. I mean, it's not, no one's trying to go, I got this guy, he doesn't know what he has. It's not anything like that.
Or a bundle of vintage costume jewelry.
Comic books, toys.
A bundle of comic books. Just
everything.
Like he was lotting up stuff and just selling it like as a bundle for other people who do reselling.
Because and you knew this was going on because when he was doing his videos, his sold videos, he would go through what he sold, and he would say, thanks so and so, hope you make some good money off of this.
And that way he's making he's making his money fast.
Yeah. Well, he has to recoup.
As long as you make a profit doing that, and that way it gives there's a way to source if they just want to buy like a little bit here and there.
It's a kind of a thoughtful thing to do something like that. I would never think, not that I wouldn't think to do that, but that's a huge undertaking. But man, good luck to you.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, man.
But it sounds like fun.
And then there's Tucker.
I love going through boxes of junk.
Yeah, and there's another couple. They're a married couple. They're called Tucker Upper.
Tucker Upper.
Yeah, but the guy's name's Tucker, and his girlfriend's name is Sammy J, I think. And but they've been around for a while. He looks like Owen Wilson. It's funny.
Their videos
they're
are
from New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
Well, they just bought. This sounds crazy, but and I don't even know. I would love that. It makes it kind of interesting too. They're New Jersey people, right? Younger, they're probably in their like mid-30s, right? Those two.
Probably early 30s.
But what they did is I guess his father owns some property down in Florida, a little house, like a little kind of closest to the beach, a rental property, and they bought like 20 pallets of like.
It sounds like a lot.
Like Amazon return type pallets.
Like return pallets and wholesale like liquidation pallets.
Liquidation. So they drove.
They're you explain. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, they drove down to Florida
from New Jersey to
Florida, but it sounds like, and I don't know the whole story, but it sounds like they have property the family owns, staying at property in Florida, and he's self-quarantining. Right, and the pallets are getting delivered to the house in Florida. Yeah,
they plan to stay there for several with 4 or 5 cats. They brought the cats down with them. It was an 18-hour drive. Some ridiculous drive.
All that meowing for 18 hours in a car.
And they admitted, they go, look, things are slow. I mean, we can't find the stuff we've been finding. A lot of places like in Ohio and Cleveland, let's say in Cleveland, our street, you can't put out bulk stuff to throw away. And a lot of people that would pick, you can't do that.
Some people are just trying to find different ways to source, and I guess he had this opportunity to buy all these pallets.
But the catch was they're in Florida, so they had to drive down there, right?
Well, and it worked out good because they can stay at that other property.
Well, that was the plan. You know? So they're going to have all these 20 pallets delivered, and they're going to go through them. They said they're going to list stuff on. I guess they're going to try to sell it. Stuff on eBay from that location, and they must know where the post office is and everything.
Or maybe sell locally. I don't know.
The big stuff locally. He says he's going to put stuff on eBay, but that doesn't mean you couldn't do local pickup on eBay.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
it'll
20
be interesting.
Pallets.
That'd be interesting to see how fast that sells.
To me, it sounds like you need more than Florida. or the neighborhood surrounding that can come and drive down and pick it up.
And we don't know the size of the pallets, though.
Or what's in them.
Maybe some are larger, maybe some are smaller.
And for what it's worth, I'm interested. I cannot wait to see their next video to see what's going on. So I'm curious. But it does show you what other resellers are doing to try to work around, circumvent the problems that are going on.
Let's go back to the comments for a couple minutes,
please
and then I'm gonna go back to like what I've been doing with eBay.
Goody.
Thrift Raider's here. Hi, Thrift Raider.
Hello there.
What's up, guys? Our Goodwill opens up Friday at 10. I can't go early, but I'm gonna go as soon as possible, masked, of course. Ooh. Be careful, Thrift Raider. Now, I hope you find something good.
Now, the question I have is like, I wonder like how many people are gonna be there, like when these thrift stores open up.
Hopefully,
well, are they gonna be mobbed? I don't know.
If we were to go to any store, if I saw a full parking lot and people crammed at the door, no way.
When are they opening up here?
No effing way.
When are they opening up here? Are they already opened?
There's some Goodwill stores near here that are already opened. But then there's some that are staying closed, like the Goodwill bins. They're not opening those for a while because
that's a different thing. Well,
with the bins, I don't know how you would shop safely.
Well, some opened up in Indiana. We watched.
Because some people they're like this, fighting for stuff in the bins.
It's rabid. Yeah, but we watched the bin pickers.
Yeah.
And they went.
They're from Indiana.
And they opened up some. They went to the bins. They were a little weirded out by it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because there was some. It was a little, but they had a system and.
Yeah, you have to. They'll have to figure it out. Like, how can you shop the people?
Your mentality has to be totally different when you do it because you can't go in there thinking, "Oh, I'm going to go in there," because it's like, excuse me. I've had people do that, reach over me.
Yeah, where they reach over you, they bump into you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
But so it's not like that. I mean, I don't know how you work around that. Like, how do you have to pick a number. Maybe that's what they could do. Assign each bin a number, and then you pick a number random. And that's the bin you get to pick from. That would be cool.
Thrift Raider goes, if it's crowded, I promise I won't go in. My husband wouldn't want me to anyway. See, good. Yeah, look, play it safe.
That's thinking smart. Because you know what? We've said this before this, and we'll say it now. There's going to always be stuff. Always.
Yeah, there's always going to be stuff to find.
Yeah.
So, some people will go out treasure hunting and think, oh, I'm going to miss out. There's always going to be stuff. You might miss out on something that day, but there's always going to be stuff to find.
What do you? Anyone out there watching that does reselling? What are you doing? That you some little kind of cool workarounds to find stuff to sell. I mean, online. Are you looking up others? Shopping other resellers' websites or eBay stores or.
Larry says, went to a local chain craft store yesterday. There was maybe 8 people in the store.
Yeah, craft store.
And Chuck asks, I'm looking at some up here that I think we might have missed some other comments.
Oh, let me see if
Do you iron the clothes before you list them or just as is? I have a lot of shirts. I just don't feel like ironing.
No, I do not iron shirts.
I don't want it to look wrinkled and yucky for a picture. So if you're taking pictures of clothes, you want it to look nice and clean and crisp to the best ability. So you could do some ironing. You can hang them up on a hanger and maybe wait a couple days, see if the wrinkles kind of, so it's not so wrinkly. You could get like a little fabric steamer. They do make they're like $10-15. They're like yay big, just a little fabric steamer, so you don't even have to iron. You can just
hang them up and
then use the steamer on them.
Yeah, I don't sell too many clothes.
But I don't.
I do T-shirts mostly. But I
do sell clothes, but I haven't put a lot of clothes online lately, and I don't sell a lot of clothes. Just a few pieces here and there. I've been selling more vintage toys and little collectibles lately.
Here's the thing too. Usually, if I go to a department store and buy clothes, I could wear them and not think about it. But when I buy stuff from a thrift store for myself to wear, I'll always wash it before I wear it. So, same thing with the seller. If you have something you're selling, just unless it's filthy, like it has actual dirt or something on it, or. Yeah. I wouldn't wash it, because the person buying it's probably going to wash it before they wear it.
Well, some clothes I will wash for eBay if I feel that it needs washed.
Right.
Just as common, just to be courteous to the buyer, and you want it to look clean, you want it to smell clean, you don't want it to smell
How would they be able to smell it, though?
Like dirty Goodwill clothes.
Or if it smells like smoke.
or if it has a smoke smell or something. But I will put in the listing, if I wash it, I will put in the description, washed and ready to wear.
I used to put that in my personals, but not the wear part. Washed and ready.
Can you scroll that down a little bit? I'm just looking.
Sure. Just looking, and that's
Just,
what people did.
checking the
Looked at my
comments.
personals.
Down this way. There you go.
Well,
Yeah, there's a lot of comments.
All right, is that good?
Yeah.
Right.
Goodwill is stocked to the hilts for months.
Oh, I'll bet.
Yeah, I bet they have a lot of stuff.
Some
With
of
all
these-
the spring cleaning
Well,
people have been doing.
Yeah, some of these people, places were put out notices. Look, don't dump stuff off in our parking lots because it's going to get rained on and moldy before we can get to it. And like, ugh. So yeah, they have tons of stuff now, I'm sure.
What was the oldest toy you ever sold on eBay? Says Bobby Harvey.
Question.
The oldest I ever sold was a German porcelain doll from the 1800s.
Oof.
And I think that was like a year ago. It sold for around $100. I think I paid.
Was that baby doll you found in at that yard sale?
It was 2 baby dolls from a yard sale a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I still have one listed, but I sold the one for $99 because needed the arms needed reattached or something.
Yeah, I can't even tell you what the oldest toy I sold, but it definitely wasn't from the 1800s. I know. From the the toys I usually sell probably from the 60s or maybe 50s, 1950s.
Yeah, usually 50s and 60s are like that. I'm selling a lot of vintage toys from the 60s, 70s right now. People like the Fisher Price little people, those little guys. I was going through like a box of stuff that I bought from someone.
Fisher Price little people.
Fisher Price little people.
Selling like actual humans.
The Fisher Price. I said Fisher Price.
Oh.
But just little guys or some of the little toy cars. You know, you could lot them up and it's like $10 here, 15 there, 20 there. You know, and it's a little more tedious, but it adds up.
But those suckers sold quick too. They sold like overnight.
I sold some that went pretty good. Like I did a lot of just some of the little people, the little guys. 20.
The Sesame Street one sold fast.
And then there were Sesame Street ones that from 1973. It was from a little people play set.
But the coolest
like the
one,
count, just the little count figure went for 10. Big Bird went for
15.
Like 15, 16.
But the coolest ones you got were the dragons and the knights.
Oh yeah,
I didn't even know
the
existed.
dragon, and I think I shared it in a video before. Just the dragon sold for $25.
Like quickly, like within
and
hours.
It sold within like an hour or two of me
listing
listing it. Yeah, it was a pink dragon from a Little People medieval playset.
I didn't know that they made those. That Fisher Price High School made those.
And then, so, like I said...
What do you got in that box? Pick it up and put it on your lap.
this is like...
Visual.
This is what I like to do. So you see this box of like random dolls and little toys and stuff. This is a good example. And I will look online, and if I were at the flea market, or I would look to see if there's boxes of toys like this, like vintage dolls, vintage action figures. And you go through it and you do your research, and you could piece all this stuff out. Like if you find... like in this box, these are like little Skipper doll things.
Skipper!
This is like Barbie TV. Like there's all kinds of, like, so much
Just hold
stuff.
up tilt that box and let them split.
Can you hold the one on the bottom?
Yeah.
And I'll, hold that
your
one. Will that show up on there?
You could look and probably angle it down a little bit.
But there's like,
look at that.
all this little stuff, and I've pulled pairs of shoes out of here. I've sold some of these little pairs of shoes for like $10, $15.
A microphone stand?
A little microphone stand that goes to
Barbie.
the 1960s Solo and the microphone stand, $38. Crazy.
Money in it. There's just dollar bills laying in this box.
There might be more.
There's a 10,
I don't know.
there's a 20 right there.
But this is like, I know this goes to like a little Skipper's Friend scooter. So, and this doesn't, this doesn't always apply, like, it's not just Barbie stuff. What I'm trying to get at is, you could find a box of G.I. Joes. You could find a box of Matchbox cars.
Karate chop Barbie.
And you could go through it and research all the little pieces and parts. And if you learn stuff as you go and research and do the knowledge, then sell stuff and make some money from it. There's my little tip for people that are into this type of thing and like reselling and finding stuff.
You play. I'm playing with the Barbies. This is like, I got uppercut Barbie. That's a 6-foot distance. Watch yourself. Who are you talking to? Oh!
Jeez.
I win all the time. Bitch slap Barbie.
And Yeah, there's just like all these little things you don't know.
Ugh, what happened to her face?
So this is a bubble cut Barbie from the 1960s. Her face is green.
Cut, C-U-T.
Cut, bubble cut Barbie. Her face turned green. Some of the old dolls get a
Turn her a
thing.
little bit.
They get a thing
Not
called
turn around.
green ear.
Hi.
She has green face. Because their original earrings, the metal in the earrings would turn the rubber or the plastic green.
Yeah, a little bit of a chemical reaction.
Yeah, so she's just used to model. I use her to model the shoes and some of the outfits. I bought her for $1 at a yard sale. And
Whoa, what's this?
Yeah, she has. That's a Nintendo controller.
Oh.
Jeez. Yeah, there's like video game stuff
Yeah, sure,
in here.
but-
Video game stuff is always good to sell. Yeah.
Don't turn that channel. Yeah,
But
cool.
It's great finding stuff like this because some people will see this and just a junk. I gotta clear out the house. I want to get rid of this. And when I see this kind of stuff, I'm like,
Money, money, money,
Pos-
money.
yeah, dollar
Cha-ching.
signs, cha-ching, cha-ching, you know. So
That's my girl.
and you keep a couple things like this around, and you could go through this every couple days, do some more research, list some more stuff. So yeah, it's like a little death pile of stuff here.
That's the life we're living.
But
Yeah, we see that. There are times too where we feel like. I mean, I haven't heard you say it lately. I think because you've been doing really good last
What?
year. Where you would like want to just like you don't understand like you sale for a couple days in a row. You thought your eBay was broken. And
yeah, my sales are steady right now. There were times where, and there still will be times
Sure.
where it's slow. I think this summer it's probably going to be slow if people are able to go out more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing good with the vintage toys.
And it's questionable
steady.
too because you know what's going on. You think that everybody would be holding on to every dime they had, unless they had to buy toilet paper, or something like that, or firewood or whatever you can't find anymore. But you just recently, and we talked about this before, I know, but since we're talking about this kind of stuff,
Okay.
but you sold a doll for $700.
Yeah, $760.
Oh, sorry.
That was a couple. That was like
Couple weeks ago.
2-3 back on that doll. I was getting nervous. I wanted to make sure she was happy with it.
Yeah,
because that was a big sale.
And you always obviously want home runs like that, but man, those because you know until that person gets that merchandise, you just sweat bullets.
And until they leave you your feedback, or they say, "Oh,
Love
thank
you," or
love
whatever it
it,
is.
yeah, whatever the item is.
Because it's I got it and it wasn't like that. You never know. You just want because you don't want to lose that in an awesome sale. But yeah, so I mean, so I don't know what to think about what's going on with the economy has to do with people buying stuff. I can't figure it out.
Will says that the one Barbie was post-apocalypse Barbie.
Yeah.
Research is a must, says Greg. Research is a must.
Everything.
Yeah.
I have had a couple things. Well, a couple things blew up in my face because I didn't research it enough. And it wasn't a bad thing. It was bad because I got some bad feedback from someone because I got a little crazy that something sold real quick and didn't do research on it. And then and it turned out to be nothing anyway. But back to your doll. Mm-hmm. When you originally listed that doll, you listed it for $200.
So originally it was a Tammy doll. It was a Hawaiian Tammy doll made by the Ideal Toy Company in the 1960s, and she was probably about this size, maybe like she was a little bit bigger than this, like bigger face, bigger body, but almost the same height. And she was really cute.
But you couldn't
really rare. Could not find any. I saw other Tammy dolls selling, but they weren't Hawaiian. They didn't have the dark hair. They didn't have the tan skin. These were like blonde haired. Some of those were going anywhere from $60 to $300 depending on the condition, what accessories she came with or whatever. And then an African American Tammy doll, some of those sell for around $500. But not really doing a lot of research, I put her up for like $150.
Right, and pa-ching, sold like that.
Sold right away within minutes.
But
and
luckily,
I thought, uh-oh.
Now see,
did I underprice that?
There's a good question. She was saved almost twice with that because the person that purchased it wasn't anything she did. They bought it, but they wanted it sent to a different address.
So I shipped to the United States, and then I shipped through eBay's global shipping program. I don't really do international shipping on my own.
Right.
I just feel more comfortable shipping it through global shipping. because it's insured and everything. Now, some people do ship internationally on their own, and that's okay. Everyone handles their business different.
You better believe that.
But this customer, after buying the doll, she had a United States address on file with eBay, but she wanted me to ship it to another country. And I told her, no, I can't do that. I can only ship to the address you have on file with eBay.
So you canceled the order?
So I canceled the order, thinking I'll just put it up later. On the eBay app, if you cancel something, sometimes it'll automatically relist it. So it relisted it, and then she bought it again. And I had to cancel it again and then make sure the item wasn't relisted. So I took the listing down for a while and spent the evening just researching Tammy dolls.
Now, yeah, because there's
because I'm like, well, before I put this back up, maybe I should block this buyer, and then I should probably research this a little more.
Because it's sold like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and which usually is an indication that you may have underpriced something. You know, it's like you got lucky, so lucky that didn't go out.
I looked on doll collector sites. I looked on Etsy. I looked on eBay. I checked. I was trying to find any info about this doll. She is super rare.
Now this isn't.
And the buyer that bought her for $760 later on could probably double it.
Well, that's the question. So right. So there is a part where you're good with the sale. Yeah. You know, the only thing.
Because after I did more research, I put her up for $900 or best offer.
Yeah.
And this
again, not long at all.
Yeah, and at the time I had a bunch of watchers on the doll, and I sent out thinking, well, someone will probably buy it at $800.
Yeah.
And then one buyer countered $760, and I'm like, I'm cool with that. That's an awesome sale.
Yeah, let's say it's worth double. That's not bad. And
yeah.
And the thing is that the only other option would be to hold on to it, get into some doll groups or some doll forums to find out, so people go, hey, you have a $10,000 doll there, but you didn't do that.
Well, I don't think it's that much.
Well, I'm just saying.
In my opinion, because when I'm looking at the type of Tammy doll that sells, like I said, the blonde hair, blue-eyed ones, the redhead ones, the Caucasian dolls, like between $60 to $300 depending on condition. But then the African American one, some of those were selling for $400 and $500. Well, this one was Hawaiian, looked a little more unique. So I thought, okay, she's probably worth a little bit more, but it's still kind of in that price range.
So for skits and giggles, let's go let's find that original ad, because I'm sure it's still on your list.
What ad?
Or listing for the doll.
Okay.
Pull the images. Let's find a really good doll group, and put it up there and say, hey, I have this.
I have to move on.
I'm just curious. Aren't you curious?
No, I'm good.
Because someone out there's got to know for sure what that thing is worth.
It's not mine anymore, so let them research it.
But it would. Well, if you run into another one time.
Well, now I know to look for Tammy dolls.
But how do you know how much it's really worth? You don't. You really don't. You just said it could be worth twice as much.
It could be, but it's what the buyers are willing to pay. Nothing's.
You only win $800. Maybe if you they.
I had it up higher with a best offer, so.
Yeah, I'm just curious,
We just have to move on now.
My point
it's like you can't, and that's the thing. If you sell something, you can't.
But my point,
you can't just dwell on that either.
No, I'm not saying dwell on it. No. But my point is, with this type of thing, this is my question. How do you then figure out what something really might be worth? In case you run into it again.
And how would you value that? Some of that's difficult. But if you know that something similar went for, it's like, you gotta find something similar, and then based on rarity, you could up it a little more. And
yeah, but
ifs and buts. What are you getting at?
But that's your.
Like, what are you getting at here?
Well, to know for sure, to actually know, because there may be some source out there that could definitely tell you.
Well, it's out of my hands now. It's not my doll anymore.
But it's kind of not, because you deal in it, and you may find one again.
Well, now I know what to look for, and I'll do more even more research then.
But I'm just curious to know, since something like that went like so quickly.
There's some vintage Marx toys, MARX, from the 1960s that are worth thousands.
Yeah.
There's some that go for $2,000 and $3,000.
Yeah, but
it can go up, but at the same time, it's not common. It's not common for someone to pay that much for a toy.
It doesn't matter what it is.
You have to find a buyer, and it's hard to find a buyer that would. So.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Everyone can have their own opinion on that, but at some point you
we're talking
gotta
about research, though. We're talking about research. So how would we really know? Like, let's say, for example, hypothetical, not it isn't or it is. What if that doll, that's so rare, and there's a few of them out there, and or take like the Girl from Uncle doll you sold.
Yeah.
You know that we know that there were like
there were only like so many of those made. And they were made by Mark's Toys.
But if you
had the original, that's like $1,000.
If you never, but
that's like $1,000 for that doll.
And you did your research and you
because I checked the solds, I know what they sell.
But what if there was another reseller that they did the research, but they didn't stumble upon the information that you did, and they were going to put that doll up for $100, everything there. I mean, $1,000 doll.
Well, it's up to the seller. You know,
right.
If you sell it for that price, then you sell it for that price.
But then wouldn't you, if you knew that, when you go, hey, you might have wanted to know this, that's really worth $1,000. You know what I'm saying?
But again,
we still really don't know what that doll's worth. The one you sold.
I know it was worth $760 to that buyer. Yeah. So we're gonna leave it at that. That was a great profit. And I'm good with that.
At some point you have. That's what I said before,
At some point you have to be comfortable with just letting stuff go to make a sale and move on too.
We had this conversation.
Cause sometimes if you dwell on stuff too long or think about it too much, it'll drive you nuts.
Well, I wasn't talking about dwelling about. I was talking about when something that rare comes along in case we find it again.
Of course, it's good to research, and you want to spend a little time researching, and at the same time, like. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, yeah, you could go to doll collector groups. You can find, like, someone who's a doll expert or a toy expert and get their opinion on it. Or see if...
Maybe that, like Worth Point and all that kind of stuff, which we don't have a subscription to, but...
Well, TerraPeak. So, for people that do use eBay, TerraPeak is like Worth Point, and check that as well. John says, I had dozens of Mark's Toy soldiers, but shot them to pieces with BB guns.
All that money.
Oh, no.
Well, at the time, they weren't worth it.
Yeah, but hey, you had fun, right?
Yeah. You have those memories. Those are priceless.
Yes. Tony, what do you say?
Go up a little bit?
There was one up there.
We're going to pop like that.
Where did that comment go? I thought it was a good one.
Well, here we go. Here's this.
I can't see where it is. He said something about, I buy stuff cheap and I sell it. I'm not that greedy. Said something about selling cheap.
You can, I mean, but...
and so you can, I mean...
My whole fear...
Because you don't always want to sit on that stuff too and just have it, collect dust sitting around.
My fear is, what if you sold something for $1,000 that's worth $10,000? You don't know. I mean, you'd want to know that.
Well, to the best of your ability, yeah, but... Some people, but there's some people that just want to sell stuff to move on and get it out of their house.
Absolutely,
and make their $10 or $20 or whatever.
But if there's something that's questionable, I think that would be kind of foolhardy to sell something that you could have made 2-3 times more with if you had just taken a 5-minute thing. You meaning anyone indirectly, whoever's selling something.
Yeah.
Not you. But anybody that is doing this, it's knowledge. You're because anyone, if you told someone about that, they'd be like, dude, didn't you know that? No, I didn't know. Well,
yeah. Picker Goose says, I agree. If you hold on to it forever and never sell it, you'll never make money. 3 quick nickels is better than 1 slow dime.
It depends what it is.
It depends. Yeah, I agree with you. For most of that.
Yeah, I mean, so do I. I mean, I don't hold on to everything. Yeah. Well, here's a funny thing that happened just the other night. I had a little wooden promotional ruler from a lumber company I found. I put it up for like $24, right, with the best offer or best offer. Mm-hmm. Someone got a hold of me and they offered me $9.99 for it. And I thought, well, let's have a little bit. I mean, I would like to make a little bit more off it. So I countered 15 because it's the option's there. I mean, if it wasn't, then if it's just what I say or you say. So it's a haggling thing. Then I saw $15. He counter offers me $10, a penny up. So I'm like, I'm not gonna mess with this guy. I could take $10 for it and just be done with it, but so I took the offer. But then he got back to me and was like, hey, where'd you get this ruler? Because this is he was interested because he said it was his dad's old company. So I said, I found it at an antique shop, and I sent him an offer of $13, but never got back to me. So I guess.
I guess he only wanted to spend like $10 on it.
Yeah, but
That was just a ruler.
I wanted to get rid of it, but at the same time, if there's room to haggle, why wouldn't you do that with somebody? And if it was that sentimental, I mean,
Sometimes I'll take
$2.
lower offers on eBay, or I'll send out an offer.
Oh, I've been slashing stuff in half.
Like just to get it out of here, like and make a few bucks on it.
Well, that was one thing, that feature that send offers. Mm-hmm. Love it. At first, I was like, I don't know about that, but it's like fish. It's like shooting. It's like fishing. You know, you just throw the line out there and see if anybody bites. You know, so I usually do at least 10 off, 5 off, as much as 10 to 15 off of an item.
Tony, but what if the ruler was worth $1,000?
You know,
you never know.
It wasn't worth $13 to this guy.
The Rift Raider says if I made $6.50 on a doll, I'd be yeah. I mean, we are happy for that sale. We are very grateful for it.
Oh no, it was great, but I'm just curious.
He I guess what you're saying is you're curious. Could you sell something for a good like that, and then you wonder like, well, could that be worth more?
Right, and all resellers talk about that.
You can't drive yourself nuts with that. Sometimes you just have to keep moving on, you know. So.
Well, I don't think I ever said drive myself
nuts.
Well,
no, I didn't.
But I wanted to learn more, because if it did sell that fast for that much, there might be something else to know about it.
It's definitely good to learn. And okay, maybe a couple times you might have underpriced something, but you learn from it and move on. So,
well, I don't even know.
Because at that point, I mean, you've already sold it. It's out of your hands.
It could be the opposite thing. Maybe you sold it for, maybe the thing's only worth $200, and you just got, wow, you really.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. It could have, yeah. So.
But
that's
now,
all right.
but all these guys, guys and gals that resell, all they do is stress is knowledge, and that, I thought we were talking about research.
We are.
Okay.
We are.
All right. So just research only so much.
Yeah. Next
okay.
time. Well,
Perfect.
no, I misheard you. I was reading. The next time you find a doll like that, put it up for 1,000. Best offer, says Thrift Raider.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And again, since it's such a niche thing, it could be anything. Like, I'm always curious about, like, especially if I don't know the stuff. That's what drives me buggy. Like toys, I'm pretty good with. Dolls, not so much, even those are toys. But man, who knows? It's all over the place. Especially when it's something like that. When it's something that's rare, and you can't even find it.
Yeah.
That's scary, because, then it
well,
maybe
it's not necessarily scary. We know it came from an estate. We know it came from a souvenir shop in Hawaii. It was a Hawaiian doll. People just don't know what it is. I mean, someone might put that same doll on eBay, Hawaiian doll, $20.
Don't even know.
They don't even know what it is. It could be mistaken for just, a souvenir doll, a Hawaiian baby doll. Not knowing that it's some really rare version of a Tammy doll from Ideal. So, there will always be weird, cool stuff to find,
Yeah, and I found that for you. You're welcome. What up?
Greg says if you think an item is so rare, go with auction. It usually finds an audience.
Ooh, but then you have to split.
I noticed that I don't do many auctions anymore. Because
you mean eBay auctions?
eBay auctions, because I noticed with auctions, most of the time you get less than what you wanted. You get more people watching, but you don't get as many people.
What your safest thing to do is then you do what do they call that? You put a certain amount up that you would only take for it. I forget. It's just in my head.
Oh, like a reserve or something.
Yeah, they're rare.
Yeah.
When that way you're not letting go of $5.
I think you can still accept offers while an item is on auction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You set that limit what you would take for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
man, who knows? I mean, it's such a constant learning experience, But that's what makes it exciting too, because, I still can't believe I get stuff, certain amounts for.
Tony goes, once I found a Titanic necklace at Goodwill for $3 and sold it for $550.
I remember that.
Wow, that's an awesome flip.
It was that big jewel, It was
the
Hope Diamond.
The heart of the ocean.
It wasn't the Hope Diamond? No, it was the Heart of the Ocean.
Heart of the Ocean. It was a replica of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a movie replica.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Just sitting there. $500 sitting on the counter.
Disagree on the auction these days with eBay. Okay, well maybe it's different now.
I don't do any auctions.
Because when I would do auctions, they didn't go for much.
Oh, they like the auctions?
So Area Thrifty One is saying that they disagree with me, that the auctions are doing well right now.
There is a way to you have to get savvy at that. That's something I haven't messed with too much, but you know, I think if you have the right stuff, it's great. You know, you're gonna get it, and then it gets into the I want it more than you do. It'll go past its real value, and then it comes to I want it more than you. And we did that with that froggy in a box.
Oh, the one I lost. Yeah.
But we didn't. We only wanted to go up to a certain amount.
I only had. There was a rare.
But we were gonna keep that one.
We were gonna keep it. Yeah. So
Rempel.
A friend gave us this. So
oh man.
Thank you, Keith. But this is a giant Rempel rubber frog from 1948. Yeah, there was one last year I was bidding on that was in the box, like never opened.
Oh my god, that thing was sweet.
And I think it went for almost $500.
Yeah, it did. We capped at 3, I think.
I think my limit was 3 at the time because I'm like, it's a toy frog. The most I want to spend is 3.
It was cool, but
and at the time I had that to play. I don't normally buy stuff for myself like that, but
we wanted that froggy. But
and I got outbid. But then later on, our friend Keith gave us this froggy.
It's good enough. That's
and
really
that's
cool.
good enough.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So, I love this froggy.
Hiya, gang. Hiya.
Woo.
Cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just
froggy.
this constant experience, learning experience.
So he lives on our set, and we have mini froggies. Where's the mini
There's
froggy?
a couple behind us somewhere. There's one up there.
Yeah,
I'll grab him.
Here's the mini.
Oh boy,
so
oh boy,
you can
oh
see
boy,
the
oh boy.
difference in size there.
And size is everything. Hiya.
Froggies.
We got 3 froggies over there.
Froggies.
Hey, girl.
They're so cute.
They're awesome. Rempel.
Can you put Froggy back behind you? Or you could just hang on to them.
God, I can't see anything.
It's 9 already. Wow.
Any more
Let's
questions?
see.
You want to
I remember reading about a guy who found things like Hemingway searching for misspellings of the name.
Mm-hmm. That's how you found a froggy. Is that what you just said?
No.
Oh.
But that's a good point. So one of these little I bought off of eBay because I did a search instead of for Rempel frog, I just did a random search for vintage rubber frog. And then one came up, one seller had them up for only $10. Buy it now, $10. So I bought them. And I got a little froggy for only 10. And then there was the other little one I think I paid like 30 for.
Yeah, that is a little thing. People do look for the misspellings and things. And you can find it. People.
Isn't there a website that just shows misspelled listings?
Really?
I think the Scavenger Life, that's a really awesome podcast.
That's crazy.
They talked about that site once, how they found cool stuff on there.
Wow.
But so we all agree that we should all do research.
Yes.
And it's good to sell stuff.
It is great.
And I did buy 2 Barbie doll, like vintage doll lots from 2 different social media apps. And I'm waiting for them to show up in the mail. So I'm really
More toys.
I'm really excited, and I think I should do a haul video when they do show up in the mail.
Yeah, you should.
That would be fun.
We could do a live one.
I could do a live one and show pieces.
We don't have to wait till next Wednesday.
These are leftovers from
I'm hungry.
Other toy lots that I bought like during the fall and winter. And I still pick through these. I still look through them. So there might still be things I could resell in here. Or later on, maybe stuff to donate if it's not, not anything.
Hiya, gang.
And know how to spell, says Tony. Yeah, so
that helps.
Always check your spellings when you do an eBay listing.
Yeah.
eBay will say, do you mean to search on? Yeah, eBay does do that now, where they do this auto correction. But some people will still misspell.
I still, when I do sell similar or sell like, sell an item like this one, some of those stuff I have to correct it myself, like, ooh, or jam together and doesn't make a word. Or...
And one, I did find, should I show this? This is something we found. This is something I found in the garage. It's like vintage sewing stuff. And it's cool. We found a price tag in here.
A receipt. It looks like a new receipt, but it's old, yeah.
It's like sewing, like crafting stuff. Some of this I'm going to reuse for our costumes.
Mm-hmm. So you have vintage thread.
Yeah, there's like needles and look, this is thread that was never used. There's like tape measures there, some pins. There's an old pattern,
Yeah, we
an
saw
old
this.
dress pattern.
Yeah. Is it?
It says, this is from May 4th, 1968. And it was, she paid a whole 65 cents for this dress pattern.
I bet you that receipt costs more than that.
Yeah. Is it show on the video there?
I can't. No, don't drop these needles, please.
Yeah, let's just put this back. Maybe not do
We'll
that.
see.
But yeah, it's so if you guys have cool finds, if you guys find anything cool, share it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll probably wrap it up for now.
Wrap what up?
Wrap the show up.
So
wrap our video up.
Oh, not the rascal, but wrap the show up. I got it.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching us. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe. Thank you.
Hit the person sitting next to you.
No, don't hit.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully next time we do one of these, we'll be in a different setting. We're closest to getting a different setup here.
We're putting together a new background just for like eBay videos.
Yes. For
that
differentiation.
Way, it makes it look a little bit different for the playlist.
Yeah.
So, good night. Good Friday.
That's right, everybody. See you next time on The Monster Hustle. And check us out this Friday night, 10 p.m. on our Facebook page.
We didn't even tell people the movie.
We didn't. You want to tell them?
Oh my gosh. The movie for Friday night on our Facebook page, and our Facebook page is The Mummy and the Monkey. The movie we're going to host is Nightmare Castle.
Ooh.
Starring
Barbara Steele.
Barbara Steele. Yes, it took me a minute. Starring Barbara Steele.
That's right. 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Facebook. Check us out on The Mummy and the Monkey. Nightmare Castle will be our movie, and we'll see you then.
See you Friday, guys. Thank you.
Woo.
Yay.
How do I hit?